All right, everybody, let's just get into it. You've probably seen the video where I told you about how I got a content warning, and I don't think I deserve it. That's what we're going to talk about today. Ready? Cool. I'm watching the video, just innocently watching the video at nighttime, and my entire screen lights up with this big thing that covers the whole screen. You content warning, you content warning. And I'm thinking it's another one of those wacky scams. It wasn't. I got a content warning for a video I made. And I don't make controversial videos like that. So I'm trying to figure out why did I get a content warning? I'm thinking something bad happened to my channel. Because sometimes, as we're going to talk about in this episode, sometimes the crime does not fit the punishment. Sometimes the crime does not fit the punishment. Now, let me tell you what I did wrong or wrong. And if you're listening to the audio version, I'm doing the hand quotes. Wrong. I made a video using a sound that YouTube said you could use. It had the button that said, use this sound. And I decided, what the heck? I'll use the sound. Now, what was the sound? The sound was of a cat mewing. And the cat's mewing may have been misinterpreted for saying a word. And it didn't exactly sound like the offensive word, but enough so that if you had a sense of humor, you could laugh it off. Many other people have used that sound, and those videos are still up. I don't know if they got a strike. I don't know if they got a warning. All I know is from the outside looking in, nothing happened to them. But I, someone who doesn't even make controversial content like that, got a warning. Now, what it said was, this is a warning. It doesn't really affect your channel. But if you get another warning like this, it'll be a content strike on your channel. They say it doesn't affect your channel. Yes, it does. Because a warning is the kind of thing that goes, oh, watch yourself. You made a mistake. Don't make that mistake again, okay? But it didn't make a mistake. According to their own rules, I didn't do anything wrong, and now I've been moved closer to a potential content strike. Oh, if I do something like that in the next 90 days. Now, technically, did anything happen to me? No, but I was moved closer to something happening to me. Here's what I'm talking about. Imagine if there's a tough guy in your neighborhood known for beating people down, right? But he never did anything to you, never paid attention to you. He was always nice to you. But then somebody insinuates that you were trying to get with his girlfriend, trying to get her phone number, and he comes up to you. And because he never had a problem with you before, normally he would beat the person down. So he's not going to beat you down this time. But he goes, man, if I catch you anywhere near my girl, I'm going to beat you down. I don't even want you looking in her direction, man. Now, did he beat you up? No. But the potential for him beating you up exists now because even if you innocently walk past his girlfriend or she walks up to you to apologize for her boyfriend being rude and he sees that, he will beat you down. Other than that rumor, you would have been cool. If he saw you talking to his girlfriend, he wouldn't have thought anything because he would have thought of you as someone who wouldn't try to do something. And it's the same thing here. I didn't commit an offense, but now I'm moved closer. So if I actually make a mistake or if I actually committed an offense, I'll get in trouble when that should have been a warning. If I make the actual mistake, if I do the thing I was accused of, that should be the warning. But now my warning was used up and I didn't do anything wrong. Back to the beat up guy. Now, what if, you know what I'm saying? So think about that. That guy's looking at you, man, ooh, because that's what YouTube is doing to me and my channel for the next 90 days. You better not even think about. Ooh. Now, fortunately for me, I don't really do the kind of content that would I would even really worry about it like that. But what if I made a mistake? The punishment does not fit the crime. Just like what the tough guy was using as an illustration, the punishment wouldn't have fit the crime. Say, for the sake of argument, you're walking down the street and his girlfriend goes, "I'm so sorry that he did that," and he saw it, and maybe she gave you a hug to apologize. And he's like, "Aha, I see it," and he comes over there and beats you down. You wouldn't have done anything wrong in either case. You would have been innocent in both occasions, but you got a beat down that you don't deserve. Picture this. You have not committed a crime and you've been accused of committing a crime, right? And you can't prove you didn't commit the crime, right? Because you're innocent. An innocent person is not making alibis or even thinking about it. But they're looking at you. Hey, how did your fingerprint get there? Well, I always go to that store. Okay. right? They said you were in the neighborhood doing the crime. How would I know I didn't commit a crime? Uh-huh. You look just like the guy that did it. I saw the video on the news. He's roughly my height, but that doesn't. Right? And all of a sudden, a bunch of things make it look like you did it, but in this thought experiment, you did not do it. I want to make that clear. And now you're in court, and they're going after you aggressively because they don't have anybody else. And then they come over to you and they go, "Look, you have no priors. Okay? We don't want to waste our time with you. So what you're going to do is either go to trial and risk X number of years, or you can plead guilty to a half floop-de floop, right? I'm saying floop-de floop because I don't want to mention an actual crime. A half floop-de floop, and all you get is probation. And if you keep your nose clean for 2 years, we'll wipe it from your record." Now you're sitting there having committed no crime whatsoever, and your wife and your kids are looking at you. "Go ahead, Daddy, please just say you did it, and then get the 2 years, and then in 2 years it'll be gone, and you don't have to go to jail and everything else." And your boss is going, "If you get convicted of this thing, you're gonna get fired." "But what if I plead the thing and then get the probation?" "We can give okay, we can look, you can overlook that, but we'll still put you on probation at the job until you're at probation. Your probation is done in the system, right?" You're sitting there going, "I got to risk 10 years or 5 years, or whatever number of time it is. Because if you're an innocent person, you want to risk 6 months. Or I could just take this plea deal for a crime I didn't commit, and then they'll take it off my record 2 years from now, and it'll be like nothing happened." Or will it? Will it be like nothing happened? Really? The internet is forever, my friends, and internet records are forever. There's things on the internet that never go away, even if there's a correction. If a person who's famous is accused of doing something that they didn't do, even though time has passed, there's always going to be people on the internet trolling. "Remember that time you got accused of this?" Or there's always going to be some news. Well, he's a great guy, and his new movie is coming out, and it's a fantastic movie, which is a great thing for him because, well, a few years ago he got accused of doing a floop-de floop, and but he's everything's been going great. They just keep bringing it up. And if you're a regular person, you're not a movie star with $800 million in the bank, and you're trying to move from one job to the other, and they look it up, and maybe they go across a part of the internet where it has not been expunged at 2 years like they said. Or maybe it was expunged, but there's a couple of copies of it somewhere, and they run across that, and you have to explain, and they don't believe your explanation. Also, there's someone who's equally qualified who doesn't have this problem. Which one do you think they're going to hire? But you don't want to risk going to jail. So you take the punishment for a crime you didn't commit because you don't have any choice. Sometimes the punishment doesn't fit the crime. Now, I talked about the big guy, and in this particular scenario, a big guy who was potentially going to beat a guy down. I was in a situation where the punishment didn't fit the crime, or the almost punishment. I was dating a lady, right? And at the time, I was still doing stand-up comedy. I'm a retired stand-up comedian. At the time, I was still doing stand-up comedy, right? And when you're on stage doing your thing, sometimes women will come up to you and all that kind of stuff. But I've never cheated. I'm in my 50s. I've never cheated in the past. I haven't cheated anybody currently, and I'm not going to cheat in the future. That's just not who I am. I have never done it. I never will. That is the fact. No joking there. That's the truth. It never occurred to me. I don't do that. She, on the other hand, was talking to her friends about our times together. And I understand that you talk to your friends about your romantic times with your partner. I do that too, but I don't get into specifics. I won't get into any more specific than this. "Yo, S, so you was with your girl, man. How'd it go?" "Yeah, we had a nice evening. We had a romantic evening. We had a walk on the beach and some flowers and all this kind of stuff. It was a great time." That's as far as I go. But I remember I was at her apartment. I walked in because I had gone to the store, and she's on the phone talking to her girlfriends about what happened the night, or the 2 nights before, during the course of 2 nights before the weekend. Was it complimentary of me? Yes. I appreciated that part, that she enjoyed the what happened during that weekend. But she got into too much detail. And while complimentary, you don't tell your other girlfriends stuff like that. You just don't do it. I told her, when she was off the phone, I said, "Don't, why do you, well, I was giving you compliments. I understand that, but you can't, don't do that. That's not a good idea. You, you should just shut up and be glad I said nice stuff about you." I didn't want to fight because we were still, we were going to have a nice evening together. So I didn't want to get into an argument. So I shut up. Some time passes, and the lady on the phone that she was talking to, her boyfriend uh, messed up and she got rid of him. Some more time passes, and she's thinking about what my girlfriend was saying about what we did, and she realized it's been a while. Maybe she'd like some of what her friend, my girlfriend, had for herself. I mean, she was glowing about certain things and doing stuff and all this kind of stuff. Maybe she'd like to have that happen. That's what was going through her mind, apparently. One evening, she's going out with me and my girlfriend. She's a third wheel, not a big deal. I liked her. She was a cool lady. She was a cool lady, I thought, up until this point. My girlfriend trusted her so much that she wanted to go to the store to grab something because we were going to watch something on TV, a movie or something. I don't remember what the heck it was. So she left. I said, okay, I'll go with her. I said, we'll go with, meaning all both of us. She goes, no. I said, well, I'll go with you. And she goes, yeah, I know you'll trust your friend in the house. She ain't like, you going to take something. Joking around. She goes, no, just stay here with her. She trusted me, rightfully so, to stay with her friend who she also trusted. Shouldn't have. She calls from the store. I'm going to be here for a while. This line is long. I probably should have brought you with me because this is crazy. We could have split this up and whatever. So I might not be back for like an hour or so. Okay. All right. We're going to pause whatever we were going to watch for an hour. The second her girlfriend heard the amount of time she was going to be gone, oh, her demeanor changed quickly. Oh, you ever look over at a woman and she's looking at you like this? And I'm like, oh no. Oh no. When my girlfriend did that, that was cool because I knew what was next. Right? But I don't want to with this lady. I mean, she's a beautiful lady, but she's my girlfriend's friend, and I don't cheat. And and she starts moving closer to me on the couch and starts, and then she just got to the point where she was like, "I'm going for it. I'm gonna get this before she gets back," and I shut it down. Right? And I said, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, you're that's your friend. That's my girl. I can't do that. I go through all of that crap. She goes, I'm so sorry. Right? Just don't tell her. I'm like, yeah, of course I won't. Of course I told her. Right? And she didn't believe me. Right? And she didn't confront her friend, but she's kind of looking at her funny. The only bad part about it was now she's looking at me funny. And she's thinking, wait a minute, if this girl did it and you did, what else is he doing? She started not to trust me, and I'm the one that told. And I could tell her relationship was a little different after that because she was treating me badly all of a sudden. One time I was on my way to go see her, and she called and got somebody else at my house, and they forgot to tell me not to come. She just assumed that if her best friend was trying it, then what happens with other women are trying it? The only reason he didn't do anything was because it's my friend. But I'm pretty sure if other women are doing that and all up on him like that, he did something. I'm sure. And all of a sudden, I went from being a guy that held off your friend and was completely transparent and told you the truth to somebody who's probably getting it on with every woman that's every time I walk off the stage bottomless and jump on top of 10 women a night. So in her mind, I cheated, even though I didn't even think about it. Once again, she called to tell me not to come. Somebody else answered my phone, forgot to tell me. I pull up, and what happens is she looks at me like, huh, what? She was surprised to see me. You see, unbeknownst to me, because she thought I was cheating in her imagination, she had set it up where she was going to cheat with someone else just to get back at me. Right? And I interrupted it. And I found out about it later because she didn't. As it turns out, she didn't cheat because I was there. She figured, well, I can't do it now. She was going to go get it on with another dude to get back at me to punish me for a crime I not only didn't commit, would never commit, and 30 years later, still haven't done to anybody. I'm not with her anymore. I ended that. I ended that relationship like a few months after that because I was like, when I found out what she was planning on doing, I was like, oh hell no. The fact that you would even be delusional enough to think that I did something when I gave you no signs of doing something, and the fact that you think that that was acceptable was enough for me to realize you're not the kind of person, you're not the kind of woman, you're not the kind of lady I can be dating or in a relationship, and definitely not someone I can marry and have children with. Oh, I think not. So because of her behavior, I was kind of punished because I lost someone that I cared about because I had to get rid of her. Had I not shown up, she would have gone off and done something intimate with another guy and then came back to me. You cheated, so I cheated. And then she would have found out, oh, you didn't cheat? You never cheated? It never crossed your mind? You're actually a good guy? Oh, a lot of times the punishment does not fit the crime. And just like with that lady, punishment didn't fit the crime. That's why she's gone. With that guy with the beat down, the punishment wouldn't have fit in the crime. He would have probably gone to jail for beating up somebody that didn't do anything. And in the case of YouTube, the punishment didn't fit the crime. A content creator that doesn't really do anything worthy of getting a warning now has a warning. And for the next 90 days, I got to go into my studio and look at the word warning in my face, kind of like an online scarlet letter that only I can see. You can't see it. You know about it because I talked about it. You can't see it, but I can see it. And it's annoying and it's frustrating and I'm insulted and I want it gone. And even 90 days from now, when it's gone, I still already had the warning. That was my mulligan. And that punishment does not fit the non existent crime. And that sucks. But I still love YouTube and I still love podcasting. So I'm not going to stop. What I am going to stop is talking because this episode is over. Hope you enjoyed it. Unc S out.